Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 143. Hopeless. After quickly changing out of his G, an order his father whispered to him just after the Nada younglings came to find him, Hiccup, along with Astrid, stood with his father on the docks as Johann and another ship bearing the symbol of the Hopeless came closer. Hiccup heard his father grunt and glanced up at him.
"I'll be sending a message to Chief Ingvar before Alvin be invading," Stoic said. "I never thought he'd respond, since he's one of the chiefs calling for the thing. I did hope, though."
"We still hold a treaty with them, right?" Hiccup asked, recalling the lessons his father gave him, and the words he had heard as he grew up in the same house as the chief.
"Aye, as we do with all the tribes in the archipelago. We no wish to fight each other and the dragons in the same time, son."
"Then if they are here to answer your summons because of the treaty, at least, we'll know they're like Shivering Shores and honourable. Another we can possibly trust with the full truth of the dragons?" Stoic looked down at Hiccup, and Hiccup fought the ingrained urge to wilt. 15 years of a trained habit did not disappear with the magic Hiccup was now learning how to wield. Stoic smiled and placed a hand upon Hiccup's shoulder.
"I'll be so blind for, son,"
Stoic whispered.
"I feared."
Stoic paused.
"Well, we all be knowing what I stupidly feared. You'll be a far greater chief than I, than even Hamish the First."
Hiccup smiled. "Thanks, Dad," he said, though he did not really believe his father. How could he ever be greater than Hamish, who founded Burke, or Stoic, who stood strong in the face of so much? Silence fell between them as the two ships slipped into the docks and tether lines were tossed along the railings. Soon gangplanks joined the tether lines, and Berkey and dock workers hurried to tie off the ships and settled the planks. Johann stayed upon his ship even when the 7 of the Hopeless ship climbed out and stood on the docks.
"Ah, Chief Stoic!" Johann called out. "I see you were all successful in running off that scallywag Alvin. I look forward to the tale."
He then looked up to the cliffs and hollered,
"Up and for business!"
Hiccup snorted but turned his attention to the people from Hopeless. All took turns looking up at the cliffs at the dragons Hiccup knew were perched in whatever places they could find, and looking back towards the harbour and the sea stacks, and the guardians where more dragons were perched, and had been seen as the ships got close. It seemed after 2 invasion attempts, the entire nest came out in force when an unexpected approached.
"Beata," Stoic said, "your father be sending you?"
One of the men dropped his gaze from the cliffs, and Hiccup recognised him as the second oldest of Chief Ingvar's boys. The man had so far not reached for his sword, and that gave Hiccup hope that they would prove as honourable and trustworthy as Steiner and Padraig.
"Me father be getting your message, Chief," Beata said. "Be looking like you dunna need us, though." "Be good knowing you came, though," Stoic said.
Beata tipped his head. He glanced back over his shoulder, then up at the cliffs.
"Me island not be getting many raids from the beasts, but we have our share of problems with them. Still, outcasts be another thing entirely. My father said we be on a bound to help you fend them off, or we no expect you to come to our help." "Well, come on," Stoic said. "This be no place for giving the tale. We just finished one of the longhouses for the thing, so you and your warriors can stay there."
Beata lifted an eyebrow.
"I be seeing Chief Henrik, let you know." "Good. He and father both be of the belief you should know, so you can prepare places for all of us to stay in. They and Chief Desbertha have been saying we be dishonouring you if we not let you have time to prepare."
Stoic nodded.
"Come, we'll head up. We can speak more in the Great Hall."
They headed up the walkways. Hiccup and Astrid walked just behind his father, just before Beata.
"Young Hiccup," Beata said as they walked, "what did you do to your leg, boy?"
Hiccup felt Astrid tense, and she made a point to take his hand while they walked. Hiccup gently squeezed her hand, both in silent request and a thank you. Given the look upon her face, Hiccup knew it was not the question or the memories it sparked that riled Astrid up. She did not like the boy comment. Hiccup also knew she would spin faster than the typhoonmerangs they met on Eel Island if Beata said anything she deemed an insult or dishonouring to Hiccup in any way. Hiccup moved to avert that. No need to have his intended brownish harangues at Beata just yet.
It's part of the tale, Hiccup said. That we'll give once all of you reach the Great Hall. It deals with how all of this came to be.
Once at the top, Toothless moved to walk by Hiccup's side with Sharpshot, who had been upon Toothless's saddle, carefully crawled to his usual position on Hiccup's back. Both dragons had waited, none too patient, with the other dragons, while Hiccup, Astrid and Stoic met with the ships. Both, it seemed, decided their waiting was over. Hiccup heard several murmurs from those following, and glanced over the shoulder Sharpshot did not have his chin laying upon. Beata held a hand up, stopping a few of the men from drawing weapons. Hiccup and Astrid paused, and Hiccup gave a slight cough. Stoic and the others stopped and turned.
Done it fair, Stoic said. Those two dragons only be dangerous if you harm my son and his betrothed. Offer no threat, and you won't be viewed as a threat.
Hiccup smiled, as he realised his father did listen to him, and was even using some of the words he had said to Padrick the first day they met. Beata glared at the men, who had their hands upon their sword hilts.
We be guests, Beata stated. You be respecting our hosts, or you be dishonouring me father. But Beata, one of the men said, pointing at Toothless, me father spoke of one like that beast. It be a night fury. It be the unholy offspring of lightning and death itself.
And it no be attacking any of us, Beata pointed out. Dunna give him a reason to. We be listening to their tale, for we be deciding anything. Clear?
Clear,
all of Beata's warriors said. Hiccup noted one of the women warriors smacked the back of the head of the one who had spoke as she passed by him. Astrid snorted slightly, and Hiccup glanced over, finding her smiling as the woman hissed at the man, telling him to not do anything foolish. I like her, Astrid whispered.
Hiccup chuckled. Come,
Stoic said. They all began walking again. Hiccup heard the warriors behind him murmur at how obedient and docile Toothless appeared to be. Hiccup knew he would have to give his brother 2 full baskets of fish before the dragon got over the fact he could not even grumble in the old tongue, because Hiccup had asked him to not scare the newcomers. When one of the warriors made a comment that compared Toothless to a dog he had owned, Hiccup knew that 2 baskets would not be enough. He was not sure 3 or even 4 would be enough. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. So this is the start of a rather interesting arc, and it shows again how far Hiccup and Astrid are willing to go for each other, and I love it. Though admittedly, this one did put me off when I first read it, but then again, with how stubborn I am with my ships, is that a surprise? Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals, and all my no pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.